I think it's easy to judge the young generation, which right now is Gen Z, and say they're irresponsible, they're not saving. My generation did it better. That's been going on forever. I think ideally you would start saving in your teens and 20s, but very few generations would actually do that. And so I think there's still time for them to do it. And just because they're not saving much money when they're 23 years old, you know, as long as you're pulling your life together when you're in your 30s and 40s, that's when things really matter. Now, better if you start savings in your 20s. That's when compounding really, the runway you have in front of you is really going to turn into magic at that point. But there's still hope for them yet. This is almost guaranteed that Gen Z will be in their 40s. They'll be looking at Gen Alpha and say, look at these lazy kids. When I was young, we were doing it right. Yeah. And so it's always like, it was not that long ago that I remember that the narrative was, look at these coddled, lazy millennials. They're never going to turn out to be anything. And now it's the millennials that are saying, look at these lazy, coddled Gen Z. They're not going to turn out to be anything. So I think a lot of this is same as ever. It's always been happening. No generation in their teens and 20s, there's almost no generation for whom that is their finest hour. Like they're transitioning from childhood into adulthood. And if you looked at my generation in our teens and 20s, wasn't that great. We didn't do a lot of good things. The baby boomers in the 1970s, not their finest hour. I think a lot of it gets back to what we talked about earlier of if you don't feel that your options in life are good, you become more risk-seeking. Part of risk-seeking is might as well spend the money today. Why would I save it for the future? There's no if you feel like there's no reward to saving and investing it for the next 30 years, then you won't do it. You'll just spend it all today. You'll spend it on clothes, travel, whatever it might be. And to the extent that you're going to quote unquote investing in, it's going to be day trading on Robinhood kind of thing. So this is a very different mentality. I would say though, is it a very different mentality compared to when I was a teenager? I think it's marginally different. Don't pretend like you are purely rational and you're a spreadsheet and your financial decisions have to like make perfect sense. Everyone is a little bit flawed, a little bit emotional, different family situations, different goals. As long as your financial decisions are merely reasonable, that's good. And I think a lot of people, for me and for a lot of people, they're like, oh, thank you for giving me permission because I have this quirky thing that I do with my money and it doesn't make any sense, but it's reasonable and it makes sense for my personality. And like, as long as it's reasonable, like don't be unreasonable, but don't think that every one of your financial decisions has to add up perfectly in a spreadsheet. You want to use money as a tool for a better life. And there's many different ways to do that. A lot of which might make sense to me, but not make sense to you, or vice versa. And so that's fine. And so I think that to me of just like, hey, this is not an exercise in a spreadsheet where I'm just trying to make sure all the numbers add up. I'm just trying to use money to be a little bit happier and to sleep better and to give myself, my family a little bit of a better life. Even if it doesn't always make sense, this is a tool to give me a better life.